Let's add some pep to your plate by roasting a red bell pepper and turning it into a beautifully bold and smoky sauce. Today we're making Spanish tortilla with roasted red pepper Romesco sauce. I'm Chef Heidi Fink, and that's what we're cooking on the coast. Welcome. Today we are inspired by Spanish cuisine. We are making a potato tortilla and Romesco sauce. Potato tortilla is something that you may have had with tapas, and Romesco sauce is a specialty of Catalan. Both are delicious. They're vegetarian and flexitarian. You can serve them with any type of meal. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is saute some onion. So we're going to start with the tortilla because that takes a bit longer. So we need to have some olive oil here. And we're gonna start with a couple of tablespoons of olive oil to saute our onion. And while the onion is sauteing, we're gonna then cut our potato. So let's make sure it gets nicely coated with some oil. Okay, now our potatoes. So if you're gonna serve the dish hot, then I would use a russet potato or a mealy potato. And if you're gonna serve the dish cold, which is actually traditional in Spain, I would use a more waxy type of potato like a yellow or Yukon Gold. I have 3 Yukon Gold potatoes sliced here. It's about 1.25 pounds, so 3 or 4 depending on how big the potato is. And the important thing is you wanna slice it thin, but not super thin. So we're not making like scallop potatoes here. If you cut it too thin, they kind of disintegrate and lose their texture. So I say about 1/8 of an inch or 3 millimeters approximately. And so we'll just get that sliced and we'll put that back in our bowl. So this is a dish that I enjoyed in Spain many, many times. Like I said, it's usually served cold by the slice. It kind of looks like a giant quiche, a crustless quiche in the end. It's just potato lightly bound with some egg and flavored with onion and olive oil. And yeah, like I said, it's normally served cold by the slice as a little tapas, and you can have it with different flavorings. Sometimes I've seen it with roasted red pepper in there or with chorizo, but it's usually just served plain. And you know, it's hard to imagine that something that's literally just potato, egg, and onion would taste so good, but it tastes so good. And I mean, potato's my favorite, but I think it's also maybe all the extra virgin olive oil in there that gives it lots of flavor, the sauteing. So these onions are almost done. All right, so let's pull this. Is this, yeah, I can grab that. Okay, so we've sauteed these onions. I could make them even go a little bit softer than this. There we go. Okay, and then we're gonna put the pan right back on the heat, and now we're gonna add 5 tablespoons of olive oil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I measure that the way chefs do. And you wanna make sure that's nice and hot. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our potatoes, okay? And you're gonna add about a quarter teaspoon of salt. So not too much at this stage. We're gonna add more later. And then we're gonna saute these potatoes in olive oil. Now, the important thing here is that the potatoes, you wanna get them pretty much 3/4 cooked or 7/8 cooked, as I'm splashing everywhere. So we're gonna make sure these get coated in olive oil. And then as much as you can, get it into a thin, even layer. And then you're gonna put a lid on it. I've got a lid right here. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna cook this for 8 to 10 minutes approximately, stirring from time to time until the potatoes are softened. I do have some already done because it is the magic of TV, ta-da. I'm gonna actually just move this one over and put that one there. I'll put this one on our medium-low heat. So about medium-low. I'm gonna turn this one back up so that it's warm. And I'm gonna grab my bowl. So I have another bowl of sauteed onions that I did earlier. Okay, so we've got our sauteed onions. So what we're gonna do with this now is we're going to dump the potatoes. So this is after the potatoes have cooked for 8 to 10 minutes. So they're mostly cooked. They're still a little firm. Some of them are broken apart, but most of them have kept their slice shape, so that's quite important. And then we are going to throw a little bit more olive oil in here. And I'm just gonna show you what you would do if you were just sauteing these onions here. You would just stir them from time to time. Just kind of rub your spatula underneath so they don't stick. You can do this in a cast iron pan or in a non-stick pan. All right, so you wanna make sure that this is nice and warm before we put everything back in. So I've got my potatoes and onions here. This smells amazing. Like, it's unbelievable to me how just like the plain and simple potato can smell so good. So in here I have 8 eggs, and I'm just gonna add 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. So you know when you've got a potato heavy dish, you wanna make sure that you are, oh, I'm gonna turn that down. You wanna make sure that you've got a generous seasoning here. So no other seasoning, just salt, no pepper, no paprika, nothing. You wanna really let the flavors of the super delicious potato and extra virgin olive oil shine. So you wanna whisk this until it's evenly whisked and get that off. Okay, well, I'll put this in the sink. All right, now we've got this, we've got the olive oil nice and warm. So now we're gonna add our egg right to this warm potato and onion mixture. And we're gonna stir that. So you want this to be just completely evenly mixed, for the potatoes to be broken apart, for the onions to be in there. And hang on, I'm gonna turn this down. Doing the double tortilla. There we go. You can see they're holding their shape, but putting the lid on kind of helps them steam, and they will eventually look like the ones I had in this pan. I'm gonna turn that right down. Okay, so this is on medium heat, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour this right in there. Okay, look at that. Looks so good. Okay, so we're gonna leave this on medium heat. Now I actually need 2 lids. Oh well, this one's gonna get sacrificed here while we put the lid on this one. So, there we go. So this is gonna cook like that on the stovetop for about 10 minutes. And the top will still be a little bit runny at the end. So you can do this the traditional way. You can loosen it and flip it, or you can do what I find is the easier way, is once it's had its 10 minutes there, I put it under the broiler to cook the top, because then it's just like less risky. Less dramatic, but less risky. All right, so we're just gonna let that cook for 10 minutes. When we come back, we're gonna make the Romesco sauce to go with it. But stick around, because after the break, we're on the road.
Cooking on the Road is brought to you by Whisk Victoria, the small but mighty kitchen gadget store for every home chef.
I'm on my way to beautiful Salt Spring Island, and I'm going to be checking out Salt Spring Kitchen. They make jams, chutneys, preserves, and candied jalapenos. I can't wait to get there. Hi, Marcus.
Heidi, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm very excited to be here. I've tried your products many times, but I have never actually been to the tasting room. How did this come together?
Well, it was a vision that's been a long time coming. We had pop-up shops here and there, and when this property kind of came to be, this was where the permanent place was going to happen. It started at the market here. Melanie made it in her home kitchen, which coincidentally is my home kitchen today.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
And so we then moved into a facility across the road, and we've kind of grown organically ever since.
Is it across Canada?
Across Canada.
Across
yes.
Canada. Okay, most like grocery stores.
A lot of grocery, a lot of
gift
gift shops.
Okay.
We have about 25 products.
25, okay.
Yeah, we have a number of different collections which we sort of base our products around. We have a burger collection, which you would have on burgers or sandwiches with mustard and spicy tomato, jam. A spicy collection with some of the spicier jellies. We have a new sweet collection with the raspberry rose and the peach lavender. And a savory collection which is more sort of like cheese and charcuterie and that sort of thing.
So this is Salt Spring Island cheese. So you sell a lot or feature a lot of other Salt Spring Island products?
Yes, we do.
Yes, okay.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely worthwhile coming down, because not only do you get this amazing product, but you also get other amazing products.
Yes.
Okay, I can't wait to try this. Oh my God, that is so good.
One of the things that we feature is toasts or tartines here. So we have a blueberry basil jam that's on whipped ricotta with fresh blueberries and basil and a bit of Salt Spring Island lemon salt.
Oh, that's so good. Cheese on bread, does it get any better?
Trying to feature, our products, but as well as, how you can take the same thing at home and do it yourself. One of the things that we particularly like to do is put it in a cocktail.
In a cocktail.
Yeah, so this one here is a raspberry and rose gin fizz. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, okay, I've got another sip. It's a perfect combination of sweet and sour. You can taste the rose. I feel like there's another kind of flowery note in there as well.
Elderflower in the gin.
Oh, it's an elderflower gin. Yes. Ooh, that complements the rose perfectly. And then there's the hint of raspberry, fruitiness. That is excellent. Lots of versatility, lots of flexibility with all the different things you can do with these super delicious products. Thanks so much for having me, for showing us around the facility. It was delicious.
It was my pleasure, yeah.
No, it was my pleasure. Hey, welcome back. We are whipping up Spanish tortilla with roasted red pepper Romesco sauce. The tortilla is almost ready. It's been cooking for about 12 minutes with the lid on. You can see it's still a little bit raw right there. I just have to grab an oven mitt and we're gonna put that under the broiler just to cook the top. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna put that under the broiler. So that should just take a couple of minutes. I have the broiler on high. While that's cooking, let's get our Romesco sauce ready. So the first thing we have to do is fry some bread. I think this is honestly my favorite part about this recipe. So we're gonna put a little bit of olive oil in this pan, just a tablespoon or so. And then we're gonna get a piece of bread. So here I have just some French style or Italian style bread. And we're gonna put that in there, and you wanna press it in the olive oil, and you can hear it sizzling pretty quickly. So Romesco sauce is a sauce that's made on the Catalan coast of Spain, and every cook has their own variation. It's usually some kind of roasted local Spanish pepper and some tomatoes, and then usually thickened with nuts, bread, and seasoned with anything from garlic to vinegar to herbs. So that's what we're gonna do, but I just my bread was making sizzling sounds. Oh no, not quite ready. So I'm gonna show everybody how to roast a pepper. So there's a bunch of different ways. If you have a gas burner, you can just actually put a whole pepper directly on the flame and just turn it from time to time so the skins are blackened. If you don't, if you only have an electric stove, I'll show you what to do. So you're gonna cut this in half. You're gonna take out the seeds and membranes out of here. Oh, and you could also for sure use jarred bell pepper for this. That does make everything go a lot more quickly. You need about 2 large peppers, which is about 1 cup of chopped pepper. So once you have the seeds and membranes removed, what we're gonna do is we're gonna press it down like that. Okay, so you want a flat surface so that you're gonna put this under the broiler so the skin is really exposed to the heat of the broiler. There we go. You got some browning now. So this is what you're looking for with this bread. You want this nice brown crust like that, and you want that on both sides. So I've got this pan lined with foil, and we're gonna put our peppers on here. Okay, so we're gonna put this under the broiler, and this is a good time for me to check my tortilla as well. Ooh, the tortilla looks really good. Let's show you what that looks like. Look at that. Looks so beautiful, it's so brown. You can smell the onions and the eggs. Oh, it's delish. This would also be good with some cheese on it, although that's not traditional. Let's take a look at our bread. Yeah, that looks great. So see, it's browned on both sides, so I'm gonna take that off. And I'm just gonna put the peppers in the broiler. Okay, so you want it on the direct heat of you want the broiler on high, you want direct heat there so that the skins get blackened and blister. And what ends up happening is your peppers end up looking like this. You can see that blackened skin right there. And what you do is you just put it in a bowl or a container, cover it for about 10 minutes. And then once it's cooled off a little bit, you can just pull the skin off, okay? And then once that's done, you can just chop it up. So I have some already chopped, ready to go. So like I said, it's about 1 cup of roasted peppers. So we're gonna put everything in this food processor. So I've got this roasted pepper. So like I said, about 1 cup. And then we're gonna put, our bread might be still hot. No, our bread's good. So we're gonna just break the bread up into little pieces and put it in there. This smells good, this feels good. I just love crusty bread. Then we're gonna do some parsley. So I have about 1/4 of a bunch of Italian parsley here. And then I have 1/2 cup of toasted sliced almonds. Then we need some, this is some chili flakes, so it doesn't have to be spicy. What I did here was I took some just regular chili flakes, like the kind you shake on a pizza, and I soaked it in a little bit of hot water. So to soften the chilies like that, it just helps them blend more evenly so that every bite is sort of like the even thickness or even spiciness. Then I have about 1/4 cup of sun-dried tomatoes. And I soaked these in a little bit of hot water as well. And then I'm just gonna do a couple of tomatoes here. And I'm using Roma tomatoes, so you could use any tomato you like, but Roma tomatoes are less watery, so you don't want this to get too watery when you make it. And obviously in the summer, this would be amazing with some like farm fresh tomatoes, local tomatoes that are just super sun-ripe. Then we're gonna put a little bit of paprika in there. 1.5 teaspoons of just regular paprika. We're also gonna put 1.5 teaspoons of salt in here. Before I puree this up, I'm gonna add one of my favorite secret ingredients, which is sherry vinegar. You can just use red wine vinegar though, that works just as well. Sherry vinegar can be quite expensive and sometimes a bit tricky to find. So oh, this smells so good. It just smells like, I don't know, really good sherry. 2 tablespoons is all I have left of sherry vinegar. Now we're gonna pulse this up, and then once it's kind of, ground up a little bit, we're gonna add olive oil. Now we're gonna put the oil in there, and we are going to puree this till it's as smooth as possible. I'm just gonna stop and scrape down the sides. I brought over the tortilla that I made earlier, so I had 2 of them going, as you recall. And so the one that's been cooling a bit longer, it does start to flatten down a little bit, so that's why it looks lower. This one was puffed up when it first came out. We're gonna be serving this with this tortilla. But like I said earlier, it actually traditionally goes with fish. I've served it in sandwiches, on pasta, in omelets. It's super versatile. You just want to run a thin spatula or knife. It looks promising. It looks promising. We'll see. Run our knife around it. Oh, I think it's going to come out. All right, let's see. Okay. Are we ready? That sounded good. Oh yeah. All right, that one came out. Now let's try this one. Maybe we're gonna get 2 today. Actually, they usually do come out pretty well, but. Okay, let's do that. So this is how you would do it if you wanted to flip it halfway through and cook it on the second side. This is how you would do it. Oh, that one sounded good as well. Let's see. Oh, beautiful. There we go. We're gonna get some plates out. Which one should we serve? I think this one actually looks a little more pretty. Let's do that one. Oop. That one right there. Okay, so we're gonna just cut that. I'm gonna put it on my cutting board so I don't wreck my plate. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut it into wedges. Look at that. So you can see the layers of potato in there. This is like a very hearty meal. Like vegetarian. You could serve this as a side dish easily. Okay, I don't know, maybe everybody wants 2 pieces of tortilla because this is our food today. So we'll put one there and one like that. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, now we're gonna put a little bit of Romesco sauce on the side and maybe garnish it with some parsley. All right. Now let's just put this on the side. So then what people can do is they can just dip their delicious potato tortilla in this delicious Romesco sauce. All right. Okay, there you have it. delicious Spanish potato tortilla with Romesco sauce. Isn't it gorgeous?
Pairings are brought to you by Liquor Plus. Discover the plus.
We've got this delicious Spanish potato tortilla, which is kind of mild, and then very strong flavored red pepper Romesco sauce. I'm very interested to see how we can pair with this meal. With us is Shannon Ward from Boucherie Estate Winery to help us out. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. So today we're going to pair the 2022 White Label Pinot Gris.
Okay.
So there is a lot of aromatics to this wine, but there's a really good line of acidity, which will pair really well with the richness of the potato and the egg. But the aromas of it will go really nicely with the red pepper Romesco.
Okay. And I heard you say you really like throwing acid on foods. This is one of the reasons you brought this wine.
I do. I really like acid with food, and that's why I really like this Pinot Gris. It's really fresh. It's really zippy.
Okay.
It kind of makes you want to keep going back and having more.
All right. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you. Oh, that is very good. Yeah.
The aroma of it is quite appealing because it's so fragrant, and it's
yeah, for sure.
it's very fresh, and it almost might make you think that you're about to drink something sweeter, but you get that really good acidity to it.
Yeah, that's true. All right, I'm gonna try it with just the potato tortilla first, and then I'll try it with the Romesco. I can't even grab my potato. There you go.
But the starchiness, you know, from the potato with that acid really kind of helps to cut through that.
Yeah. Oh.
The Romesco sauce kind of brings out like the
aroma.
The aroma and the fruit forward kind of nature of the wine.
100%, I noticed that for sure. Yeah, this is really interesting. I feel like this actually ties the meal together in a really good way. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Try this recipe at home or make it your own. Tag us on social media at Chef Heidi Fink or at CHEK Media. I'm Chef Heidi Fink. The more you learn, the better it tastes. This is going to be, keep eating. You're like, can I keep eating? Yes, absolutely, you can keep eating, because this is really good.
These kind of eggs I would have for dinner.
Oh yeah, you could,
I don't normally have eggs for dinner.
Oh yeah, I eat this for dinner quite often, because it's very hearty.
I need to come here and hang out with you more often.
Anytime. Bring some wine.
Okay. I have a lot of that.
Awesome.